Hi, everyone. Welcome. We'll get started in just a couple minutes. We'll wait for a few more participants to trickle in, but thank you for joining us today. All right, I'll go ahead and get started. So, my name is Maria, and I work for the USC Viterbi School of Engineering Graduate Admissions and Recruitment Team. And I'm joined today by a recent alumna, Shweta, and my colleague as well from the Graduate Admissions Office. We have a couple people here to help out with Q&A. And so, just a little brief overview about this presentation. I will be going through the general information about the Viterbi School of Engineering and the University of Southern California in general, plus the master's and PhD requirements. And this is a special session. Like I said, we are joined by a recent alumna, and so she will actually be going over and being available for Q&A to talk about the benefits of starting in spring. So we do have two intakes, fall and spring. And so we wanted to highlight all of the benefits of starting in spring. And you might already be thinking about starting then, but if not, then maybe this might pique your interest. But even if you're interested in starting in fall, we definitely appreciate you joining us, and you will still benefit a lot from this presentation. So either way, this is open to everyone, and it should take about 45 minutes, and the Q&A will be open as well. So we ask, if possible, if you can hold off your questions until we have the Q&A portion. But if you do have any burning questions while I'm presenting, feel free to put them in the Q&A function of the webinar. So with that said, I'll go ahead and get started. So welcome on your virtual tour of the University of Southern California. As you can see, this is our beautiful campus. And so maybe you live in Los Angeles already, or maybe you're tuning in from another part of the world. Regardless, these are some interesting facts about Los Angeles. So you may or may not know, we are a global center, but it's not just Hollywood. We also are an epicenter of technology, business, and all different kinds of arts. And you can see on here, we're actually the fourth largest hub for the tech industry in the United States. Of course, you know about Silicon Valley in the San Francisco Bay Area, but down here we have Silicon Beach. So a lot of the Silicon companies have headquarters down here as well. And there's also a ton of engineering offices down here that are based here in LA. Obviously, you know, Los Angeles is known for its beautiful coastline. We also have mountain ranges. We have a really diverse climate, and it's a very diverse city in general. So you can meet people from all over the world, all different backgrounds, and all over the country as well. It's really a great place to be. And it's a startup ecosystem as well. So if you're looking to get into that startup life, I think you would feel very inspired here. If you like sports, we have them. We have all of them. And our teams are great to watch, not only on the professional level, but at the university level as well. And then, yeah, like I said, we have the highest concentration of engineers in the nation. So if you're thinking about pursuing your career in engineering, which I think you probably are, then you would find there's a lot of opportunities here. So about USC in general, about the campus, maybe you've been to visit, maybe you haven't, but the location is near downtown Los Angeles. So we're just outside of it. And so we kind of have our own little pocket. And it's a really ideal location. And it's one of the world's leading private research universities. We're ranked number 20 out of more than 400 public and private universities. So very highly ranked. Within USC, We have 22 academic schools and divisions. Viterbi School of Engineering would be one of those 22 academic schools. We have 47,000 students, over 5. I'm so sorry. My internet connection is very unstable today, and not the best time for me to be hosting a webinar. But I'm going to bring the slide back up. So sorry about the technical. Okay. So sorry. But otherwise, we'll work with this. So, my internet connection is unstable again. Sorry, I don't know if anyone is available to jump in case this happens again. But for the participants, I really apologize. So as you can see, we are a top tier research university. The students and the faculty are a lot more tech savvy than my internet connection. So Viterbi accounts for over 50% of USC's research. So as you saw on a previous slide, we have 22 different academic schools and divisions. And Viterbi alone, only one of the 22 schools accounts for over 50% of the research. That's huge. And so, as you can see, there's a ton of groundbreaking research being done at USC. These are some of the core research areas listed here on the slide. We're making a huge impact on the world. Revolutionary Alzheimer's research using AI. Viterbi alums were a big part of the deployment of ChatGPT that started here at USC. Socially assistive robots, helping children with autism. So you can see there's really amazing contributions to the world that are being made by our Viterbi students. These are the academic departments. So probably what you want to major in is listed under one of these different departments. If you go to our website, you can find, if you're not sure which department your program would be under, it would be under one of these, and you can see the full list of programs on there. If you have a non-engineering background, we do accept students from other majors. So you can see on here, this is a list of some of the programs in the Viterbi School of Engineering that do accept non-engineering majors. So what we mean by non-engineering majors is if you have a bachelor's or in the process of a bachelor's that's not an engineering or computer science degree, perhaps you're majoring in something totally different or somewhat related, like another STEM program, or even some of them are open to non-STEM majors. You can take a look at this. It's online as well. So about the master's programs, some people ask us, what are the benefits of getting a master's degree? And a lot of people choose to do master's because they want to enhance their expertise in a specific subject. They also might want to diversify their knowledge about engineering. So you can, for example, if you're majoring in electrical engineering, you could get your master's in electrical engineering. Or maybe you want to switch to computer engineering or a different type of engineering. You can do that with your master's. So it gives you the opportunity to kind of get more knowledge in a specific subject or diversify your portfolio. You can gain industry experience. Many of our students do internships. You complete this program in 1.5 to 2 years full time, and it's course based. And so it's not thesis based. The thesis is optional, but only about 10% of our students do actually go the thesis route because most of our students choose our program because it's course based. and because they want to get into the industry. Some students also use it as an opportunity to dip their feet into the water with grad school to see if they might want to go for a PhD in the future. We also have online delivery options, which I'll get into shortly. So these are our master's requirements. We're looking for a bachelor's degree in engineering, computer science, math, or related hard science. We also have an online application, of course, and the application fee. So one bonus of applying for spring is that the application fee is still $90, and it will be going up to $105 for the fall. So you could save a little bit of money if you do apply for spring. We also require the official transcripts. If you haven't graduated yet, again, it's no big deal. We're looking, for you to have graduated by the time you would start on campus. So you send your official transcript that's in progress so far, or if you've already graduated, then you send your full transcript. Electronic copy uploaded into the application, resume, personal statement. Some programs require a letter of recommendation, some do not. Check your specific program to see if it does. The GRE is not required for 2026 master's applications. Astronautical engineering and industrial systems engineering do recommend that you take it. They will look at it, but it's not required. And then the other programs, it's not required at all. And it won't be used for the admission process. So Dennett Viterbi is the online delivery method I referred to earlier. 40 of our master's degrees and graduate certificate programs are available for online delivery. So this is not like an online program. This is actually the exact same program that's on campus. By online delivery, we just mean you have the opportunity to attend online in an asynchronous way. So you can attend live or you can attend at your convenience. So this is generally appealing to students who are working full time, or maybe they don't live in LA, but they still want to get a USC degree. This might be the right path for you. And the classes are actually filmed. So you are taking, as I said, the exact same courses as the in-person students. And you do have a seat in the classroom. So if you're local and you have time and you want to come to class in person, you can do that. Or maybe you're visiting, you're doing a trip to Disneyland and you are going to be in town and you want to stop by campus to see your class in person, you can do that. But it's the exact same class, same professor, because it's just the same one that's being filmed. And online, it's the same degree. So something to consider if this looks like a good option for you. Doctoral programs. So what we're looking for with doctoral programs is a demonstrated experience and a keen interest in pursuing research. The mission is determined by a faculty committee, and it's determined based on a match between you and a faculty member. The average length of the program is 5 to 6 years. So this is, of course, research-based, unlike the master's. And so you will be devoting much of your time as a doctoral student to doing research. So if you love research, you might find that this is a great option for you. Not only that, but USC does aim to fully fund all PhD students. These are some of the popular research areas at Viterbi. Obviously, this is a lot, but we do have this directory online. So if you are considering a PhD, then you can check this out. So we have 2 application deadlines. So masters, we have spring and fall. Both of them are open right now, actually. So you can apply for both spring and fall. For spring, the deadline is September 1st, so it's coming up soon, which means that if you do apply for spring, then you'll get your answer sooner because the deadline will be sooner. And then for PhD, we actually only have a fall intake. And for masters, we have the fall intake as well. So for masters, like I said, you can apply for spring or fall. And the deadline for both PhD and masters in fall is December 15th. For PhD, it is a hard deadline. For masters, we strongly encourage you to also meet that deadline so you can be considered for scholarships. So focus on that deadline regardless. And you can see on here the start dates for both the spring and fall. Scholarships are open to both US and international students. The amounts range between 10 and 20,000. This is for masters. Of course, as I mentioned, PhD, we aim to fully fund all students. For masters, these are the scholarship options. There are no separate application required. You just have to complete your program application by the deadline. So the deadline is very important when it comes to that. Selected candidates will be invited to complete a video interview. We also encourage you to check out external funding, because funds from outside of USC you can use towards your degree. And there's a lot of scholarships out there. We do have resources available on our website, but I encourage you to do a Google search as well to find other scholarships that you can add on. There are so many scholarships out there, and you might find one that applies to you, then you should definitely apply for that. This is one of the fellowships that we have. It's the USC Meta Fellowship. These are offered to incoming master's students with a passion for AI. So you can see on here the requirements and the benefits as well. If you're interested in the Meta Fellowship, you can check this out online on our website. Viterbi Career Connections is a really important aspect of the Viterbi experience. So the Career Connections office is actually devoted specifically to Viterbi students, which is really ideal because the type of employers who are coming by for you to network with or for you to meet at our career fairs are specifically looking to hire engineering and computer science students for internships and for jobs after graduation. We do have a general career center on campus, but I also encourage you to check out the Viterbi one, because there are also like Trojan Talks where you learn about different companies in this field, networking opportunities. People can help you with your resume and cover letters and things like that, mock interviews. And so it's a really valuable resource and pretty unique as well to have the staff here devoted specifically to help exclusively our Viterbi students. So another great resource that you should check out is our student ambassador page. So you can chat with our student ambassadors anytime. You can message them anytime, and then they'll reply to you when they're available, which is generally very quickly. So you can chat with them. You can also narrow it down based on major or location and ask them anything you want about the student experience. You can ask them about housing. You can ask them about their program, what professors they like, what clubs and organizations they joined, things like that. And so they're super helpful. And if you ever come to visit our campus, you'll definitely meet them at our events as well. Speaking of visiting campus, if you happen to be living in North America now, we do invite you to check out Preview Day. The information is on this QR code, but it's also on the website on the homepage. It's on November 7th. We'll be hosting this event on campus, and this is an opportunity for you to meet with engineering faculty, department advisors, staff, and current students. The student ambassadors that I mentioned before will be there. Like I said, engineering faculty, it's a great time to meet them, advisors, learn more about our graduate programs. And it's an all-day event with breakfast and lunch, and you get a campus tour, you get a lot of networking opportunities, and you get to really get a feel for what it would be like to be a Viterbi graduate student. And we do have a very limited amount of travel grants available potentially for students who are based in North America. And so check it out. The registration has not opened yet, but we do have an interest form, and the registration will open in September. Available to sign up. Okay, so now we are going to transition into the next part of the presentation. And so I would like to introduce Shweta. So she is our recent alumna who is joining us today. And so Shweta, if you can just give us a brief. Okay, I'm so sorry. Shweta, I was introducing you, and I think, and then my screen froze again. Am I back?
Yeah, I can go ahead and introduce myself and talk a little bit about this slide. So I recently graduated from, my name is Shweta, and I recently graduated in December of 2024. So it's been fairly like 7 months ago. I started in spring of 23 and I did my master's in computer science at USC Viterbi. I am currently working with Geico in their AI ML platform team. And I, yeah, in California. So yeah, that is a little bit about me. Um, if you want me to dive deep into the presentation, I can do that.
Yeah, that would be great. So unfortunately, I had to close the slide as you can see, because my internet connection is horrible. And so, Shweta, I did make you host just in case I get offline again, but I think we can go without the slide and just kind of talk about the advantages of starting in spring. And so, we can just kind of go over the talking points that you had on here. And so I wanted to have you elaborate a little bit about so fall versus spring. So obviously in spring, there was a smaller cohort. So you started with a smaller group. So if you can talk a little bit about what that was like, that would be cool.
Yeah, of course. So, interesting fact that I did apply for fall, but I got into spring. And I think earlier on, it was also like something that I was really considering. Should I be like joining into spring? In hindsight, now that I've graduated, I feel like it was a really nice decision to join for the spring cohort because the cohort size was small. I from the orientation events, like starting from that week onwards, I kind of made so many friends. I knew most of my cohort. It was not that populous as fall intake, so it was more easier for me to meet the same people again and again throughout all the different orientation events that Viterbi hosts. Also, USC hosts for the first like month or so. So it was really I feel like the interpersonal communication and the network that I was able to set up in the first few months as a spring cohort was really nice. It also gave me a sense of community because I got to interact with a lot of people, like-minded people who in a like really smaller cohort size. So I could like talk to them more. There were more discussions of like things that interest me. So I got to meet like really great people. I feel due to like starting in this specific um semester start. Yeah, so I think that is one thing that I noticed. Another thing, I think that was my second point, um, which is that starting in spring actually gives a lot of time to settle in to college life because fall semester students, like if it is a 2-year course, like a master's course, which I did, I'm going to be speaking with that experience in mind, because that was my experience. I think PhD has a different timeline. I'm not that aware about the timeline, but when we talk about the master's timeline, it's a 2 years timeline. And if for spring cohort, you get 2 summers, which is really great because you get a lot of time. I got a lot of time to settle into USC life and to get to know LA, get to know USC, and enjoy like a lot of my college life as along with prepping up for the internship season and the recruitment cycles. And even for all of the subjects that I took up, I had more bandwidth to understand them better and to kind of get a sense of what I want to do. Um, because so first summer and also like if you have 2 summers, if you're planning to graduate early, if that is your plan, you get a very good opportunity to take courses in the first summer and kind of graduate a semester early. So you can finish it up in like a year and a half, and you can still do an internship in the next summer and graduate with like an internship and like so when you graduate next summer, you kind of graduate like directly in the middle of the recruitment cycle. So that is a very good time to like plan your whole like how do you want to move forward. If you have some specific like plan regarding a company that you want to work at, that's a really good time because that's like that's peak hiring season for most companies in tech. So that was like really beneficial. Yeah, I think that off the top of my mind, I think those are the things that benefited me the most for being in spring, timeline wise, cohort wise. And also a lot of courses had a lot of like I got so much more time to understand my courses better. So even academic wise, I think that was really great.
That's really good to hear. And I definitely agree. There's a lot of benefits of starting in spring. If anybody has questions for Shweta about the spring start, feel free to put them in the Q&A and she'll be happy to answer them. Sometimes students have asked before about, maybe they feel like they might, if they don't start in fall, they might be missing out on like joining clubs and organizations. Shweta, did you find that that was the case?
No, I think I was part of, I forget, there were so many. I was part of a lot of organizations. I also got a chance to be with the VGSA and like and surprisingly when I joined in some spring, I think the VGSA applications for the senator positions, they open like by the end of spring. So you get a very good like you get a good semester to get to know your people, the cohort, and they kind of elect you to be like the senator. That was really nice. I was part of that. And a few other um like clubs as well. So I personally I didn't find it very difficult. I thought it was really convenient. I also, like I mentioned before, like this was also one of, I got a lot of time to kind of explore what I want to be part of, and if I want to be like which one I would be the best suited with. So I think, yeah, I think it was a pretty good experience in that term for me.
Yeah, that's actually what I've heard from other students too. So there are still a lot of opportunities um and I do like the small cohort as well because I think it helps to like forge connections. So we have a question here from Tom and it's not related to Spring Start specifically, but Shweta, I think you're a good person to answer this. So when you were a student, how many days a week were you typically in class?
So that depends on how many courses one ends up taking. I had two per semester, and depending on the unit. So if each course is 4 unit, that would I was in that would translate to about 4-ish hours of class per week. So sometimes classes are 2.5 to 1.5, depending on class. Some they have varying durations. So I was in class for for two courses about 3 days a week, like on campus in person. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. That's helpful. So actually we don't have any other questions. Okay, I think I'm back. If I get disconnected again, if anybody could just take over with the with this, or even if you just wrap it up, you don't have to put your video on. I just feel awful that I keep getting disconnected, but we'll take one more question unless others pop up. And I'm really sorry again to the participants today about my connection. I really feel bad about that. I'm not on campus, clearly. So this is not an indication about the internet at our campus. Okay, so we have another question from Tom for Shweta. Are the classes mostly in the evening or totally during the workday or mixed?
It's mixed. A lot of the classes I took was during the evening, but it's mixed. I know a lot of the courses that if you pick them up, they have classes during the afternoon. But I also know that you get the some of them you have the option, like they have separate sessions, kind of, for lack of a better term. You can do like a afternoon class or an evening class, a lot of them have that option. You can kind of select what timing suits best for you. But most of mine were during the evening.
Okay, cool. Do you have any advice to people who are applying now,
Um,
just from a student perspective?
I would say like my best tip for anyone who's applying to probably any college, USC in particular, would be to really go through all of the pr to really like kind of dive deep into what programs interest you, kind of look what courses that are available, kind of read what you get to learn in those courses, because I feel like that sets up a very accurate expectation of what you will receive when you do get to take those courses up. Like before I applied, I went in and I saw a few courses that really interested me. I saw the syllabus, I read about the professor, how what I would get to learn in a specific course, and I thought that it really set my expectations, like, and it aligned well when I took the course. Like the courses were exactly what I expected them to be, and it also helped me align what specific specialization, or if I want to do like a general computer science, like what track I would want to apply in. Like there are a few things, caveats, like you can you need to look into what courses you will be able to take, what are interdepartment courses that you want to take, how many you can take. So I feel like really doing your research well before applying is um, a really good idea. Apart from that, I would say for application specifically, just if you're passionate about something, you could like, this is what I did. If you're passionate about something, really put that out there in your personal statement. That helps a lot. And yeah, I think those are my top tips off the top of my mind.
No, I think that's great. We have a question here, which I can answer. It's from Anjana. I heard the application process is reviewed holistically. Yes. So as I mentioned on the slides that had the master's and PhD requirements, we will be looking at your application holistically. So it's not just about your GPA, and of course, GRE scores are not required. So it's not, just a numbers game. However, the GPA, of course, is an important factor, but we are also looking at your personal statement, and if the letters of recommendation are required for your application, then we would be looking at those too. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I don't know if I'm still online, but can anyone give me a sign of life if I'm
Yeah.
online or not?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. It said I was offline again. Okay, I'm wrapping this up because I think that we had a great session with Shweta. So thank you so much for your help and sharing your insights. I hope that the participants today gained some valuable information from this session. If you do have further questions, feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information will be in the chat here. And with that, I'm going to sign off now. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again to everyone who joined us. Reach out anytime, and we'll be happy to connect with you. Thanks so much, and fight on.
Thank you. Right on.